Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Fire in the Sky event, in which the Fire Giant is added to the game. So let's get into it. He is a brown yellow, so there are a lot of really good troops that end up using this color. If you're a newer player, you'd want to go for things like Cockatrice as your main one and possibly a Dust Devil. For people later in the game, you'd want to go for Gorgoltha first and then prioritize things like the Great Maul and possibly even a Famine if you happen to have one. But there are definitely not a lack of things to use brown yellow on as far as trait stone. So the troop itself, actually pretty decent in some very niche teams, but in those teams that it is used in, it is decent. It deals damage to an enemy, triple if they are burning, and then creates 10 red gems if the enemy dies. This, of course, is most notably good with Euro Fire Mantle, which is from the same kingdom, as well as Infernus, both of which create a lot of reds naturally, as well as burn naturally, so he's just a natural synergy for both of those two main troops, and basically only those two instances. There are several other ways that you'd be able to use him, but Yarl and Infernus would be the best ways to get the full amount of value out of the Fire Giant. Other than that, his traits are pretty average, other than the fact that he does have a fire link. Of course, he doesn't specifically use red himself, but any troops on your team that happen to use a red will be getting that +1 onto their red. So, as far as the event objectives and everything like that, we do have 10% on all elementals and all giants. One thing that's noteworthy about this is every single troll is an elemental giant, so every single troll this week does have 20% bonus. As a result of that, we get bonus gold whenever we use a giant team. It has to be a 4x giant team. Doesn't matter if you repeat, but it has to be 4 giants as your entire team. And you end up getting 500 extra gold for doing a PvP battle. The easiest way to do this would be to do a 1 trophy, which is something that we're going to be doing and showing. And we just have to kill a bunch of giants in PvP as well. So really nice that both of them are synergized on the PvP. Only 150 should be pretty easy. Easiest way to do this, again, would just be to go to PvP, check your casual, keep repicking till you get a really easy battle. Actually, we already had an easier battle there, but you can just keep repicking till you see a easy battle giant, or just an easy battle in general like that, which is ridiculously easy, of which we could throw something like our quick giant team against. This quick giant team is simply just a single Euro combined with 3 of these new giants that will allow us to basically just keep spamming the red gems every single time. Pretty bad starting board as far as the colors. We ideally want to be able to get Ural up immediately and then just throw from there. It's why we have such a gigantic red bonus right now, so we can just keep poking them. Pretty much everything will die one shot to absolutely everything that we do. One other thing that you could possibly consider doing too, if you already have the traits to be able to unlock it, is go and have a Titan class and use that to be able to give 50% to all of your giants for starting mana. But as you can see there, we end up getting quite a substantial amount of gold since we are getting that 500 extra from doing that. Some other things to note real quick. Event keys. Are they worth it this week? Not really. If you don't have 1 Ural yet, I would say maybe get yourself 1 copy of Ural, just so you have it. He's not really a troop I use that much, but he is particularly good with this new giant this week. So if you wanted to do an all-giant team, he's one of the easiest things that you can really synergize with it. So if you don't already have one, it might be a good idea to get one. Other than that, it's not really a troop that you need to get up to Mythic. Do keep in mind that there is a, speaking about Mythics, there is a Mythic within this kingdom, so event keys this week do have a chance of getting Storm Shield. Storm Shield is basically a true damage giant that can also place a couple barriers. He's not particularly good Mythic, but if you wanted him for your collection, he is in the event key drop pool as well. There he is right there. Not really one I would personally really bother with. I mainly just get the Ural, and then that's about it that you would use for the event keys. Also, something I forgot to go over last week, because it's so new, I sometimes forget about it, but the troops. Of course, this switches every single week, so I do want to go over these. So, any worth it? As far as the Legends, Crimson Bat and Dragon Soul actually are both really decent troops. Crimson Bat is one of the best true damaging troops in the game. Not only that, he's also one of the best skull-oriented troops in the fact that he can do 2x skull damage to literally every single troop in the game. He is the only one as of this current moment in time that has this kind of capability on his trait. As long as they're missing HP, he will do 2x damage, and unlike some stats effects where they might be limited, like Divine Slayer, which can only do it on Divines, Blood-Sucking can do it to absolutely any troop as long as they're missing that HP. And of course, Dragon Soul, out of every single legend that you can ever craft, Dragon Soul is the most valuable. The main thing that makes it valuable is its tankiness combined with its soul capability as far as gaining 15 souls per cast. It does a lot of damage, particularly early on in the game. Regardless of what state you're in, early on or later in the game, it can do a maximum of 20 damage to all enemies, assuming you're using a full dragon team, and it gets a bunch of explosions based on its magic, so it does a little bit of everything. It's a really well-rounded and pretty strong troop. Also, the 2 imps are there if you needed them for your collection. I guess you could get them. The imps are a little bit annoying because they're only in seasons. Right now it's Autumn Imp. In the next 2 months, October and November, it will be the Spooky Imp. So there's really no need to get the Spooky Imp. Probably just the Summer Imp if you didn't end up getting him during the summer, because you'll be able to get the Spooky Imp during the next 2 months. As far as the Mythics, the only thing here that I'd really bother going for is Death. For the most part, maybe Yasmin's Chosen. None of them are excessively good picks, but if you needed them for your collection and you had the resources, they could be possible options. Deathmark is probably the weakest it's been for a while right now, mainly because they just gave all undead troops in the game immune to Deathmark, so that's even more things that have immunity to it now. Other than that, he does have one really interesting synergy though, in that this aspect of Death will do 2 true damage to the first enemy, or 2 true damage to the first enemy at the start of your turn, and Crimson Bat automatically does 2 times skull damage if they're missing HP. So there's actually a pretty funny synergy that you can make out of those 2 if you wanted to. And other than that, Yasmin's Chosen is basically just for looping greens. If you have a web spinner, you really don't need to bother with a Yasmin though. A web spinner will be good enough that you don't really need to bother with her. Anyways, let's go into a couple more teams as far as something that we can do for giant killing. Well, I guess we don't specifically need to do that. But yeah, if you need to kill a giant, just go here, boom, there you go. You just got a 4 giant kill easily. Let's go show this again. Might as well go for the 1 trophy wipe. There's quite a few different 1 trophy wipes. This is, I just figured, would be the cheapest, since all you need is the Yarl, which you can get from event keys this week, plus 3 of the event troop, which is ridiculously easy, since all you need to do is get 3 of them. Ideally, we're actually getting the ideal situation, or almost ideal. It's we just get all the reds immediately, then we throw a nice Yarl on whatever is the highest durability. Ideally, we'd get an extra turn there, which would lead into everything else just looping to the end of the battle. But we're gonna miss, so we're just gonna have to rebuild from there. 11 mana in a single surge. That is definitely a very decent amount of mana for him. That is for sure. He's gonna be all annoying and will not allow us to kill him quickly. Poor thing. But we are getting the 500 gold for simply using an all-giant team. And now, as far as all giants is concerned, it is, of course, a pretty limited kind of team to build. So now we can start getting the red spawns. Oh, well, of course, we end up missing immediately. But he generally does hit with the 10 reds. 10 reds, or 10 of any color, is a pretty decent number to actually be able to put onto the board. And generally, it won't really miss. Actually, I found it to have a higher hit rate than that of Yarl's ability, mainly because the colors that it can make will get in the way of each other, so it doesn't always hit as well, whereas a 10 red is really concise, and since it's putting a bunch of the same color without overlap, works out really well. And there's an even easier battle, but you guys get the point as far as farming gold with that. Let's go into the other 2. So we have 2 other ones. Let's go with this one first, I guess. An all elemental giant. Every single one in this has a 20% bonus this week. There's a few different ways that you can kind of do this with trolls as well. This is just the way I ended up going with it. It's a Yarl, fire giant, desert troll, and Zephyrus. One interesting thing about Zephyrus, this was a while back, but he did several months ago get a buff where he does do a lot of extra boost ratio off of yellows. Every single yellow he destroys, that is 10 additional damage earlier on in the game. That is ridiculously strong. This night in the game is kind of average, but still, if you have a Yarl that's putting more yellows, if you have a desert troll that's putting more yellows, it can really start to stack up quite a bit. So we're just going to kind of do the same thing, get Yarl up immediately. Same strategy as before. That's pretty much almost every strategy with a Yarl team, unless you're using like a unblocked mana generator behind him or something like that. So right here, we'll just try to get that Kraken down before he gets as a threat. Unfortunately, we just gave him a bunch of extra turn there, and pretty much missed. Is one of the reasons I'm not too huge a fan of a Yarl. He's never really been a troop I really bothered using much, the main reason being he is pretty inconsistent. As you can see there, we get our reds. Speaking of inconsistent, please, something land your extra turn. Okay. Zephyrus. Is it even worth casting right now? No, I think we're going to go all in. But then again, I don't think he's going to get skull distracted. Alright, we're just gonna go for it. Good, we did get that. And now we can go for the kill. He's burned, so we can do triple damage off of that. It is pretty easy for him to constantly hit those triple damage kills, since you're already doing so many poke damages. It's one thing that it has that's pretty nice synergy with the arrow. Since the arrow pokes it down, you can then just follow it up and kill it with the fire giant, and it works out pretty decently. Can we get his virus in? He actually works pretty well when there's only one left because we'll hit so many yellows. Let's go finish him up with that. Let's see, where can we get the most yellows from just to make sure it does indeed do enough damage? I think we would have to get 4. Fortunately, I'm only seeing 3 as our maximum. Hope the skulls is enough. I'm not going to bother calculating it. Oh, the burn was enough. Exactly enough. That was right on the dot with that 3 burn right there. And that's why you counted out first, but oh well. That was the virus for the final kill. All of his damage is split, but of course if there's only one left, it all gets focused on that single unit. And now, for the final team, Burn It Down and Furnace. The thing that is going to be really, really funny with it. Ooh, a Scion. I hate Scion. Actually, I hate that entire team. It's Drain Spam. You know what? I'm actually going to repick that. I do not want to deal with a Spirit Fox with the team that we're about to use. Let's see. All Goblins or All Giants? Let's actually go all giants, I guess. I kind of want the glory, but it is giant week. Might as well go kill a bunch of giants. Oops, for a second I thought I'd use the same team over again. That'd be a fail. But let's go and, of course, get our alchemists up. We could go for the Hellcat first. Doesn't really matter which one of the two. Whatever happens to be on the board, you just take. Look, right there, we'll just take yellow because that's all we can take. Can't find any browns, can't find any reds. So we'll just take whatever we can fill up with and go from there. Greens, unfortunately, we do not use, or else that would have been a really nice mana pool right there. We'll probably just go for... Oh, never mind. The yellow just sitting there. Almost didn't see that. So I was going to drop for it, but if it's just going to sit there, might as well swipe that instead. We have a convert. Unfortunately, it's on yellow, which is about the last color we would ever want to convert out from the board. So we are not going to do so. That doesn't really leave us with many options, though, so I guess we will take, indeed, that blue to see if we can wait it out just a little bit. We'll take, I guess, the yellow there, start getting his ability up. I don't believe we're going to be able to get out a triple kill. Mine will end up doing, let's see, 90, 87. That will not be enough to close the gap onto anything. Again, we do have the Hellcat. Oh, wait, we do have the Hellcat in brown. Never mind. So we'll throw that down. Good. Now that's what we need to get going. And we'll just take this red, go throw down the Infernus, and now we can actually start getting kills on many, many options. So he'll just do his thing. Hopefully he'll end his turn very soon, so we can start going. Not as much red on the board as I would really want. So let me go and Alchemist real quick. Just try to replenish the board some, so that we can throw the rest of this down. So right here, the reds are kind of aligned decently. We'll go for our kill and kind of just go from... Oh, of course we missed. And go from there. Don't keep missing. Luckily he missed too, so I guess it balanced out. Yeah, Yarrow in a nutshell, miss almost every time. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of him. I know some people do like using him. Basically every double gem spawner in the game I am extremely, extremely against, just because of their inconsistency. And for the most part, you want to use as less RNG as you can possibly get. The more luck factors you have on your team, the worse it will, or the worse it could occur when you're using the team, because you never know what's going to happen if you have a bunch of random aspects on it. But if you can minimize the random aspects as much as possible, you'll be able to get more consistent battles. But anyways, that was that team. We did end up losing one, but regardless of if you lose a troop or not, you still get the 500 gold from using all giants, even though that wasn't all giants, so. But you do still get the gold for using all giants if one does happen to go down. But yeah, essentially this week, just use all giants in PvP if you can. And if you still want to farm gold, but you find it difficult to do some of your battles with it, just do whatever your one trophy is. Keep repicking with the 50 gold. You'll end up making more gold. Even if you repick 5 times, you're still making at minimum a 250 gold profit just from the extra 500 gold that you're getting. So it is definitely worth doing it. Basically anything that's like that for sure would be a ridiculously easy battle, but anything that you can find that's really easy, particularly if it has giants on it or anything like that, just go for that. Even though that's only a 694 gold, add 500 to that, that's more than what we get for doing our final battle. That's more than what we get for doing our 3 trophy in PvP, so you can definitely get a really substantial amount of gold that way this week from using all giants in your casual battles. But anyways, guys, that will wrap it up for this video. One other thing I should mention real quick, though. Console got Wisp, so yeah. Yeah, that happened. Use Corvash if it becomes too annoying. Use Queen Mab if that becomes too annoying. Throw basically as many disables as you can. AoE drains and stuff like that to try to disable them. Wisps are absolutely just dominating everything right now. So console has to deal with that too until we get the next patch. Anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up for this video. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Best of luck dealing with the Wisps console, and I'll see y'all later. Goodbye.